I'm recording.
Oh God, I'm podding.
I'm recording audio content.
Oh, I've podded all over my pants.
Pudding.
How can you have any pudding if you won't eat your meat? 3, 2, 1. I'm Luke Summerhays.
I'm James J. Miles.
I'm James the Jaster Stewart.
And you're listening to Monster Mash.
And on this week's episode, we are hunting a smattering of subspecies and variants. But first, Violet Mizutsune.
Guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son.
Played the mash.
They played the Monster Mash.
The Monster Mash.
It was a
Jericho coming down. Now you know. Break the wall down.
Violet Mizutsune are leviathans known for their beautiful lilac-coloured fur. They use the fluid they secrete to slide around, targeting their prey with gas-filled bubbles. Though they appear graceful creatures, the facade quickly fades as they envelop themselves in pale flames and bathe their surroundings in a beautiful but deadly inferno of white-hot flame.
Its hunger satisfied, the beast rests, oblivious to the approaching threat. Too late now to escape. Its fate to become pitiful prey, or is it? For what appears to be prey, struggling in vain to flee, soon becomes a beguiling task, and the hunter finds itself the hunted.
So I didn't expect us to get a Mizutsune subspecies variant. Subspecies? This
Variant. Yeah, variant.
Christ, I don't know the fucking difference. So, like,
It's
I did not
confusing,
expect
like we
it to
mentioned
be
before, man. It's like
yeah,
it's up in the air on what you can kind of call them.
yeah. But
Or it might even be rare species. There's that
what's-
as well.
fuck's sake, make up your mind, Capcom. Come
And
on.
they've confused it even more. Like, it's crazy, like how much they confused it by like certain things that they mentioned, like in the title updates and info, like dumps, or like new stuff coming out. Like, I'm pretty sure they mislabeled Violet Mizutsune to start with, which just
They probably
I
don't
am
fucking know
full on
themselves.
confused. Yep.
They've got no clue themselves. But yeah, didn't expect us to get a subspecies for. I'm going to call it a subspecies. Who fucking cares for Mizutsune? But pleasantly surprised with this lad actually. Once we finally got to fight him.
I didn't expect to get one, but if I did, I expected it to be fire.
Yeah, that's.
It's like it's more interesting fire though, right? It's white hot flame.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I'm into it, and it's like a liquid flame, like a napalm or a phosphorus or something. It is a cool, different look. It's not just breathing fire. But after the discussion we had last week, I can't not bring up the fact that here's another fire one.
Yep. Yep.
And I just looked it up. It is in fact rare species.
Okay. Good.
They do be sizzling.
So, the Violet Mizutsune, am I right in saying, draws quite heavily from what's it called, Soul, the Deviant,
Soulseer, the Deviant.
Generations.
I don't know. Like, it's kind of guess so in some like ways, but like still.
I don't remember
Very much
fighting
like
that one
own
that
thing,
much.
like because you had obviously you had Apex,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mizutsune and like Base Rise, which is more like Soul Seer Deviant.
I don't remember fighting Soul Seer much because it was one of the ones that was exclusive to Ultimate. It wasn't.
Yeah, we didn't do like a lot of Deviants. Like I can't even really talk on.
I thought I remember fighting the Generations Deviants a lot, but by the time we got to Ultimate, there was just so many.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also, yeah, we were playing in Japanese when we.
They were just hard to like level up as well. Like the whole system was just really difficult. Like you had to either individually do it yourself or do it together as a kind of group. But someone was still gaining all those levels for that particular quest and no one else.
Yarp.
So fair enough. That was just maybe just the colour of the flames being kind of that purpley blue. Maybe gave me that comparison. But
it was like a picture of Soul Seer was kind of more kind of flame related though. I think you're right in that sense in terms of its bubbles.
I think what makes Violet Mizutsune a more interesting fire subspecies than the other ones we've spoken about is how it uses the flames. Like it kind of almost creates, hard to describe, well, like kind of almost like the floating attacks it does, like they kind of home in on you. It's not just here's a Mizutsune and now instead of shooting a jet of water it shoots a jet of fire. You know, there's a bit more thought put into this, shall we say, than maybe some other fire subspecies we've had in the past. So
yeah, it does some cool and unique moves. And they're cool and unique moves based on the fact that it has a slightly different kind of fire than you're often seeing.
Yes.
Like when it makes that ring of fire, it's like that makes sense because this is shooting out like a sort of burning liquid. So it's creating these patterns, and then I mean, I can't sit here and give you a good excuse why it has a spirit bomb, but I'm glad it does.
Yeah, so that's according to Jazz quite a rare move, the spirit bomb.
And it's not that the move's rare, right? It's that pulling off getting it to explode on him is rare.
No, like on the move in general, like when me and Jay like fought it for the first time, I was like sitting there waiting for it to happen, and it just didn't happen, and then we killed it.
Yeah,
I feel like it did like twice when me and my brother fought it, so maybe you just smashed it real fast when you did it.
Probably as a time thing, but I didn't feel like
such pro gamers.
I don't think we were too long in that quest there that we just done though either.
Like 12 minutes. Yeah.
Well, listeners might disagree.
But yeah, very cool. I mean, anything that gives me an idea of Dragon Ball Z, always a big thumbs up for me. So
yeah, fun mechanic to it as well. With you obviously got to attack the monster to turn it back in on itself. Otherwise, it will just track one of the hunters and wipe them out. You don't do enough damage in time.
Is that just like pretty much a near enough a one-hit KO if it hits you, or?
No idea. Like it's the first time I saw it. Was
fair enough. Okay. So
well, like and by myself, but I saw it in videos. But I only saw the other clips I saw is just people
succeeding at the mechanic.
Not failing it.
Yeah.
I think if it hits you, it's going to do a
big
chunk of damage. But it also has a huge wind up, so it's not like you can't get out of there.
Tempted to go in and
even if you're not going to pull it off.
Wait about for like 40 minutes in the quest to see you do it. To any of it.
I quite like mechanics like that that don't feel like they've got a really tight cut off, like a really tight DPS check, pretty much. Because I know, if I remember rightly, when we were speaking about some of the post Iceborne monsters, they started introducing that as a mechanic where you had to do quite a lot of damage to the monster to knock out of a move, and the cut-offs were quite tight, from what I remember you saying, Jess.
Or it was just in like general, like they were kind of, you basically write up like fail the quest, like if you never hit like the DPS checks, like especially like I'm thinking like Alatreon, because it done like Eschaton like judgment move. It was just basically a big Nova that you can't avoid.
And I think that's what kind of turned me off Iceborne's post-release stuff, is just that it felt like they were maybe overtuning the difficulty to such a degree. I know people are complaining about that. Well, I think probably
the opposite way.
But I think personally that's maybe a vocal minority that are complaining about that. I think most people are going to be happy enough just to be able to beat the monster, right? Whereas, and you still get the satisfying aspect of, you're doing damage to the Violet Mizutsune, and you get the big satisfying impact of the the flame sphere dropping on it. And I wouldn't imagine it to be as punishing as the likes of a instant triple cart, perhaps even like you would get with the likes of Alatreon. It probably would do either a huge chunk of damage or maybe if you get hit by the epicenter, maybe cart one hunter at most.
Yeah, I'm assuming the sphere doesn't get much bigger. Like I don't see it like going the entire arena and hitting everyone. Like it probably just tracks like one player, like the smaller bubbles do.
Like the smaller bubbles do. Yeah.
Which is a fair, like that's a much more fair mechanic than like your DPS checks in Iceborne.
I think how it uses those smaller bubbles and the way it still slides around still with the fire and blasts it out, it really still leans into Mizutsune's whole kind of design ethos of the fight almost being like a dance. Like, isn't that what the skill's called? Is it the bubbly dance or bubbly dance?
Yeah, bubbly dance. Yeah.
Yeah, so like they've always had that as a vibe in the monster, and I definitely feel that with the way it moves and utilizes the flame orbs to enhance the dance, shall we say? So yeah, I've got a lot of time for the Violet Minutes to say. A lot of time indeed.
I have a lot of time for it. The one thing I am a little disappointed by, visually, doesn't really pop for me.
I get that. It's quite a muted violet, right? Like you can tell it's violet, but it's not. If you look from a distance, you'd be like, "That's just a Mizutsune."
Yeah.
Or if
then again, it's not.
Or if you're colourblind, you're like, "Yep, that's just a Mizutsune."
That's it.
I don't know for sure what I would have wanted them to do instead to like spice it up more, because the original's already like quite colourful, so maybe going dull is the way to be different. But they should have gone full fog and given us like a edgy black one, right?
Give it I'm
do that enough,
black and red.
You do that enough.
Black and red, obviously. Yep.
Stygians and Ogre, Scored Magna Malo, just a name to
Yep. Full on black and red colour palette. I'll be up for that. That was
Magna
Fury Bowser.
So the way it kind of uses like the flame, like the orbs, they're a bit different, but it does remind me a little bit of like the flame wisps that Magna Malo uses, the Hellfire.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this is kind of leaning into a little bit of the kind of vengeful spirit mythos a little bit, maybe.
Like obviously Mizutsune's always been based on like a kitsune. And that same as like Will o' the Wisps are called Foxfire in Japanese, and they're believed to be caused by kitsune, and it's meant to be like sometimes it said it's like it's a fox wedding, and that's like them carrying the lanterns.
That's what the reference, like the armor for like Mitsu is like the fox kind of wedding attire almost.
Yeah, it's like Shinto wedding attire, yeah. And then so obviously it had the bubbles before. If they make a fire one, then sort of the bubbles get swapped out for those kind of Foxfire Will o' the Wisp. So it does make sense in that way.
Was that
but it's not quite the same as like with Magna Malo. It's meant to be like specifically ghosts, like that kind of vengeful like fire. Whereas this is it's just like it's standard fox magic, because foxes are very magic.
Was that slight totally unrelated to Monster Hunter here, but was that like Ninetales' like signature move for pylon Pokemon, like Will o' the Wisp?
I don't know if it was a signature move, but yeah, it was. I think that move is called Foxfire in Japanese,
which makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Ninetales is based very much on the same thing.
I presume, talk about the armor there for the Mizutsune, I presume the Violet Miz's armor is just a recolor of that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me take a look now.
Content for the listeners there that they can't obviously see.
It's pretty similar.
Fair enough.
Flaming Espinas, I guess.
Oh, this will be quick. Yep, on you go.
I hadn't put up the description. because it has this stupid poem in there as well, and I can never remember which one's which.
See the fucking...
I'm just looking at game.
I don't know if I've got it in game.
It is a title update, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't fought it. Yeah. Oh, fuck off, you cunt. I had it on my screen and then an advert pops up and everything moved. And
Was it on fandom.wiki? Is that what you're on?
Yeah.
I hate that website. I don't know what they've done, but it's such a pain to use these days.
The adverts, isn't it?
They've just sold every single inch of screen.
Yeah.
It's like in Talladega Nights when Ricky Bobby sells his windscreen to Fig Newtons.
I always look for like a .wiki link instead of a wiki or fandom, because it's just, you're going to have a miserable time otherwise.
Flaming Espinas. An Espinas subspecies with a slightly more muted body colour. The boldness of the standard Espinas remains. Run-of-the-mill attacks won't rouse flaming Espinas from their slumber. Their breath attack contains a powerful poison and a dense acid that deteriorates armour. Take this attack head-on and you won't stand a chance.
Can you just copy and paste our Espinas episode in here? And we'll do a little bit of the big fireball.
And then we can just mention that Flaming Espinas is brown instead of green.
Yep. So you've not fought this one, Luke, no?
I don't think so, no.
You have, though. You have.
Right, because it's just Espinas, right?
Yes. it really is. Like, okay, that's maybe done a bit of a disservice, because it does have its cool move.
It's got a few more powerful attacks.
Yeah. It hits harder, as you'd expect, and the whole reason I suppose to even talk about it is the part where it hovers up and then just starts pretty much bombing the battlefield with massive fireballs.
Yeah, like it rears all the way up, didn't it? Like it's...
Yeah.
Almost always, I know it's a flying wyvern that's only got like kind of hind legs, but like it kind of rears up in that kind of way you would normally see like a Devil Joe, like the it starts like kind of spewing flames and explosions everywhere.
So from that aspect, it is cool, but I mean, I think we said in a previous episode, maybe the last one, about some of the subspecies feeling like they should just be master rank versions of the original monster, and I guess whilst Espinas doesn't have that advantage because it was never in high rank, wasn't in base rise, this kind of feels like what it might have done. It might have had a new like super move like that. Because other than that, like I don't get why they've made a fire subspecies of a fire monster. I don't understand.
Just like they just have like it's because of the mechanics of like the skills and stuff. It's like they just want kind of the reason they kind of create subspecies in general is like to have like side grade options of the base monsters like armor. That's basically the way I've always like taken it. Like that's why so you've got like a side grade option or something that's slightly different.
Yeah, I suppose
normal one is.
That makes sense, because if you're looking at it from like a mechanical standpoint, and obviously that's a big you're into your many builds to use every weapon, all that jazz. I think for me, it's the having different armor options isn't as important. So
yeah, I want the monster for
the
monster.
Purely for the design, yeah, I understand that. Like you want the design to be kind of pop in a certain way, and, or be like kind of feel totally different from like the original monster, which Flaming Espinas just really doesn't. Bar a couple of moves, as we've already mentioned.
Like I've got one hunt on my hunter card here. I don't think I've got any interest to go for another. Like genuinely.
Tell you what though, like the Flaming Espinas, like his armor skills are like great. Like the Intrepid Heart is like superb. It's like what was the mantle in Iceborne? Like the Rocksteady. mantle.
Oh, lets you take
It's
a hit.
like that. It's like that, but it builds up. Like you build up a meter over time from pitch that you're doing for your weapon, and you can absorb a hit, and it releases an explosion at the same time and does damage to the monster. So it's a good kind of backup. Like if you want to be like really aggressive, like I have that happen when I play Hammer, like just being like overly aggressive, or like when I just run Intrepid Heart on that, and it allows me to be aggressive like all the time and get extra damage out or take a hit on a move that maybe like mistimed or something like that. It's a great skill.
See, that sounds cool. But shame it's attached to...
Yeah, a very boring monster that you don't want to fight a whole lot. I get it. Like I've not fought him a whole bunch either.
I'll do him for my own urgent, but yeah, that'll be it. Thanks. But from what you're telling me, who knows, maybe I'll be like, you guys are crazy, Flaming Espinas is the bomb. He's so different. I feel like a whole new man since battling Flaming Espinas. Consult your pharmacist today.
Yeah, I fought him a grand total of 3 times.
One of which was for me, right? So, yeah.
Which was lucky enough to get like 2 of these armor pieces that I needed to use that skill, so I'll do me. His weapons are really good though as well. Should mention that too. Like they've got a kind of unique mechanic that when in the description they say they're just basically kind of fire weapons, but they've also got they've got hidden poison element to them. So like fire and poison.
Okay, that is cool. See,
neat.
That makes me want to fight the monster more, I guess. I can understand, again, from a mechanical standpoint, how they give this monster a bit of zhuzh, but still, just like, I want a cool weapon and a cool monster. Why can't we have
here's
both?
your brown Espinas.
Yes. Oh well.
And imagine, we should mention as well, like Espinas as these are both monsters from Frontier, like right. So I'd imagine like in the Frontier games, these are probably like dialed up to like 100 in terms of like the mechanics in that game, like from what I've like heard. But it's just like crazy kind of pay to win mechanics that game's got, and the monsters just do crazy fucking moves.
For me, the interesting thing about Espinas had always been the multiple elements, right? So a weapon that has that is very cool.
Gore Magala that have fallen into chaos, having been denied their evolution into Shagaru Magala. They maintain their original power, while possessing the potential of Shagaru Magala, making them incredibly unstable. Sometimes this leads them to fall into a state of anguish and violence. When attacking their prey, they repeatedly fold and unfurl their wings, as if to show their internal struggle with their own form. It is 2000's Edgelord, the monster, and I love him.
It's basically like the incel of Monster Hunter, right?
It's not, no.
It's like it's not capable of growing up, so it's taking its anger out on the world. It's just a perpetual teenager.
On the surface, but like in the real terms of it, like because it can't molt into the Shigaru, like it is actually suffering because it's a dying monster.
Yeah, it's got a tragic backstory, which is, just to enhance the edge. I didn't think the Gore Magala was edgy enough. Here's chaotic Gore.
Like, what if he's an edgy Gore Magala, but he's dying, he's in pain,
I mean,
he's strife.
It really captures one of the base human fears of getting stuck in a sleeping bag and not being able to unzip it. As a mirror to our deepest, darkest feelings.
Don't ruin chaotic Gore for me. I really like this monster. This was kind of this monster was kind of like like a bit of a white whale monster, I suppose, because I know Jas, you'd spoken about it, wanting it to come back and never ever getting it. And when we got Gore, there was that little thought of going, could it happen? Could we finally get chaotic Gore? And we did. And I think from a design standpoint, obviously, I'm all about this monster. Like, I love Gore Magala. It's my favorite monster, and I like the idea of what they've done with Chaotic Gore. And from a fight standpoint, though, again, I've only fought it once in this game, so I don't have a great impression of this, and I could be totally wrong. But from a fight standpoint, it wasn't super different from Gore. But it is cool in that you can see the Shagru Magala elements coming into play. So actually, maybe I'm being a bit mean on it. I think it is a
it's like I like the aspect of like he's mixing his moves up, but it's almost like he can't control it.
Yeah,
and like he rears back in weird ways, like for like obviously it's clearly a monster in pain. Like, and then he just
I will give you
automatically thrown out like the Shigaru beam, like half beams. It's kind of a cool concept. I really like it.
I will give you that it's the Charmeleon of Monster Hunter.
But it's Charmeleon if he suddenly sprouted Charizard's wings, but he couldn't actually get his body, and he's just writhing around on the ground going, Ash! Ash! Put me out my misery, Ash! Help me!
Kill me!
That's
how I remember that season. Am I wrong?
Yeah, that's how it ended. Yep. So yeah, I'm big thumbs up to Chaotic Gore. What's its? Does it have a cool like? I'm pretty sure I remember the armor skill being pretty interesting on it as well. There's one I can earmark as maybe I'll go for that.
Yeah, they've got a couple of like new skills on it. Strife will pull it on just now. Strife increases elemental attack and affinity in proportion to the length of your red health gauge, and which obviously it's got. And Berserk is the other one. Switch to the blue swap scroll and all vitality will change to the red gauge and start decreasing. As long as you have red health, you cannot faint.
Yeah, that's
it. Like it drains your health, and like all its other skills that it goes with it, like kind of they gel together like really well, and it's kind of like.
It's like a super mode.
It's the ultimate vampire build that people always used to make, like in the previous games, like just people that build for like survivability rather than like DPS. But here you can build it to like basically have both. So it's a shut your brain off, and it kind of if you can deal with like health, if you can deal with your health draining constantly, it's like the dereliction from the Guys Magorn as well.
Yeah.
In a way. Except I think I made the set and like I've used it like once or twice, and I can't get used to that kind of play style.
Yeah.
It's too much for me to be watching my health and make sure I'm keeping it topped up. But there's ways around it if you build it a certain way. So it's definitely an interesting like play style.
Okay.
Cool idea. And again, kind of leans into the Chaotic Gore's whole backstory about it, dying but being more powerful because it's dying in a way. So
yeah, that relates in like the skill names as well, right? Berserk and Strife.
Perfect edgy names.
Death throes.
This would be Jack from Stranger of Paradise's favourite monster. He would love this guy.
Yeah, but we would still tell him to shut up when he's bitching about his backstory.
Yes, he would. Chaotic Core would be like, I was trying to become an elder dragon, and then in he comes. Bullshit. Turns on Linkin Park, walks away, does not elaborate.
Crawling in his skin.
There you go.
That's a lot.
Have you got any thoughts on, for example, Risen monsters, Jas?
What to say, man? They're just souped up like elder dragons, like kind of like almost like the Arc Tempered.
Yeah,
I see.
Monsters sort of like Iceborne. Even though that was like wasn't just elder dragons, that was it, or was it? I forget.
There's not some cool zombie mechanic to them or anything like that.
They do, like, they power up, like, that's part of, like, the whole kind of endgame loop thing with the Curios and the afflicted monsters, and, like, the Elder Dragons are the only ones that overcome the affliction of the Curios.
Oh, okay. No, so how do afflicted monsters work? I haven't thought many of them.
So afflicted, they're the ones that have the curios like tied onto them, and you've got to like smash the curio balls, and then they'll like they're on their body, like their body, like on their weak points, and if you hit them enough, the curio balls will like burst, and then eventually, if you burst enough of them, the monster will topple. If you don't burst enough of them in time, the monster will pretty much explode and do a massive like area-wide damage,
Which will stun you as well if you get hit by it, if you know what stun is.
Yes, pretty nasty. Cool from a lore aspect, I suppose, that they've overcome.
So there isn't there isn't Elder Dragons are basically that, but like obviously they've overcame the affliction and they don't have like that same kind of mechanic where you're popping the curios like on each kind of spot. They just over time, like as you fight them, they power up and they kind of get stronger, and then you unleash like the risen curio mode, and then you do enough. It's a kind of again slight DPS check. Do enough damage over time, they pop and like topple, and then it kind of fight them long enough that they can do it a couple of times. So they can be interesting fights. It's just like this super end game kind of fight if you want to fight something like really, really difficult.
I see. Which, usually I do not.
Yeah. They're usually, those are monsters that are like on the edge for me as well. Like, I like learning fights, but like, those usually kind of, they get to a tipping point where I'm just like, do I really want to learn this like super hard monster? Maybe with like a weapon I really like once or twice, but
if back in the day when we were playing, multiple times a week, every week, we would have gotten into a monster like this, but unfortunately, we're old men.
Yep. We're just innocent men.
I didn't expect that.
When we finish up, do the end bits, so can you collect yourself?
Yeah, what so we're doing Citadel next. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've pretty much spoken about all the monsters that are out right now. We might have another monster episode depending on what comes up in Title Update 5. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, we're going to talk about the area that was added in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, much like we did with the areas in the base game. Next episode, we're going to be chatting all about the Citadel and the little beasties and endemic life that live within. So make sure you join us for that one. Until then, Mr. Luke Summerhays, where can we be found?
We can be found on Twitter at Monster Mash Pod. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you search Monster Mash Podcast. Tell your friends, like and subscribe, rate and review. And if you look deep in your own heart and you think about Monster Hunter and you think about your best friends in the whole world, you'll see a little tiny James J. Miles waving back at you.
And Jas, what can they tweet at Andyman949 this week?
You can tweet at Andyman949 and ask him, are we really innocent men?
And he will give you a list of our crimes. Not least of which, they started recording on a weeknight and I can't do it because I have to go to bed early.
Brilliant impression of Andy there.
Well, until then, catch us next time.
See ya.
Cheerio.
I can see why they did, but
So that, I
Pretty
didn't know
sure,
that, fair
yeah.
enough.
Sure, that's like the reason, not just like their.
So
Oh,
that-
because it's
pretty
like a
sure, yeah.
war-related game.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, that's
sure.
like the reason, not just like their first Advance Wars.
So
Oh,
that-
because
see
it's
that
like a
Sea of Stars
war-related
that got showed
game.
off in the direct
Sure,
as well.
that's
It's got a demo. So good.
we appear to be
Ah, they announced that a
live
while
on
ago,
Twitch.
though, right? But obviously,
Yeah, it's from the Messenger lads, and it's like it looks gorgeous, like a kind of Chrono Trigger style JRPG. Very excited for that.
Right, I'm ready to record
That's what
audio, and we are.
mentioned on the forum, like it's not like JRPGs aren't my thing, but there was a lot of good games, good-looking games in that regard on the direct.
Yeah, I would bank on Sea of Stars being a winner for sure. And that's not just me saying it because it's like a indie RPG style.
It's
game.
in
It
good
is
hands. It's the Messenger
genuinely.
developers.
genuinely
Like,
like
I
a
loved that
banger.
game. Messenger was awesome.
Cool. I'm also ready to record.
Same.
I'm not just ready to record. I'm
Do you want to crack
recording.
us up?
Started my recording.
Yeah, I'll do a crack
I've
as
also
well.
started my recording. In fact, I might even say I'm now recording.
Now recording. Get Craig on. Now recording.
See, that's what I said.
3, 2, 1. Talking
Listen
about
Craig.
Bud Snacks.
Remaster.
I think I just said listen about cunts. Change my mind.
Yep, on the quest.
We're ready to roll, boy.
Here we go.
Let's go.
I thought we recorded this already, or did you just fight it to see if we would get an episode out
We
of it?
fought it, yeah, me and you fought it. Just threw it up just to like see what you thought of it.
How are we getting this cutscene again?
Because
Do you
me.
get it every time?
It's not completed it.
Oh.
I think I did one with my brother, but I guess we failed it.
Yeah, you did.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, you watched it.
It was on the stream, yeah. The stream he's done.
Are we on stream again, or
We are indeed. I said it 3 or 4
Ooh.
times.
I didn't even hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think every time I tried to say it, Jazz started talking.
Monster Master House, you are now live. Please do not swear.
Cunty cunt fuckballs.
Delete the vault.
Mate, this is your family-friendly channel. You're the one that's like a
I was
sailor.
like holding my tongue fucking back there, like, and looks just like all in.
It'll get. Yeah, I will delete the VOD. It's fine.
Yeah, you won't delete it, I know.
It'll go up on the other YouTube channel. It's not like I have legions of fans who are coming and watching. I get like 2 or 3 viewers a week, and it's like my friends
Yeah,
in
but like,
real
I think
life.
Twitch can like thingy your account, right? If you've labelled it to be like PG or whatever.
I ain't labelled
Follow
nothing.
that. It's not labelled, then you're alright.
Oh god, I've kind of forgotten how to play. This isn't good. This isn't good. There we go. L1 for items.
Quiet on the set, please. Quiet on the set.
Right. That's a sudden miss.
Eek.
So, do we know when the last update for this is fallen? Is it? Obviously, we just had April.
Yeah.
And it does
I'm assuming
say-
that 5 is the last.
It does say another Elder Dragon, and there's a
I've
lot
heard-
of rumours that it's going to be a Matsu. So,
I've heard the same. Yeah, I'd be up for that.
and there's an episode in Amatsu for sure, even though we technically covered it back in Jan.
I don't remember him at all. For
No.
what to be, I remember a big hurricane, and that's about it.
So yeah, I think that would be a decent. Oh yeah, if that ends up being like the last episode for a little while, that's a nice little send off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll do Citadel and the movie before that, I guess.
I'd get my finger and actually get the movie watched then, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I mean that means we've got 2 weeks, right? We'll do Citadel next week, then movie the week after that.
I'll have to see where I can find it.
I must be on a bunch of stuff at this point.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
I assume you're going to buy the 4K Blu-ray.
I'm in the fire.
Yes, that is exactly what I am going to do. Get it as part of my Paul W.S. Anderson box set.
All them Rezzies. And you ran them into the bugs
Where are they?
over here.
On the wall.
Nice.
Little lip.
Oh, I don't know if there was other bugs there, but he got pillared. Wonder when we'll hear about the next Monster Hunter. Reckon it'd be E3 time, maybe?
Maybe.
Apparently, Ryozo Sugimoto like hinted at keep your eye on Tokyo Game Show.
TGS would make a
Like a
lot of
big thing.
sense. Yeah.
Well, they could
Especially
tease
considering
something
like
E3 though.
this, like aren't Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony all not going to this E3?
Supposedly, yeah.
So
yeah.
it doesn't sound like it's going to be.
I suppose when I
the
say
biggest
E3, I
of
mean
deals.
E3
Period,
season, I
yeah.
guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some Capcom event. But yeah, if E3 is not going to be a big deal, then maybe they would prefer to wait for more of an actual event.
TGS or Gamescom, right? Gamescom
Yeah.
seems to be taking a lot of E3's thunder.
Maybe it'll be at Jeff Keighley's Summer Games event.
That is Gamescom. Yeah. So
Is it?
pretty sure he does. That's the start. It's opening night live, Summer Games Fest. Jeff Keighley. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he does that as well.
I see. I don't know.
If it's not, it's like
Okay.
very similar, like kind of time frame, a month apart maybe.
But no, I'm wondering if there's going to be more of a delay, and that's why they put Rise on PS5, right?
Oh, yeah.
Um,
The next Monster Hunter's not out in probably until like
It's not going to be
March,
out until at
April
least
next
until
year.
next year for sure.
Oh yeah, we're not getting it this year. Absolutely not. That's madness. I reckon March or April 2024.
But that would have been my assumption. But now I'm wondering, is it like 2025?
No.
I thought it won't be that long.
I mean, next year's 20th anniversary, right? So
Oh yeah, they'll want to get it out.
Capcom have said from like the end of the next like fiscal year, which obviously should run into like 2024, right? They want to have like 40 million units sold. Which I don't think they've done before. Like massively like optimistic.
I mean, they got Street Fighter 6. If they also have Monster Hunter 6 as well,
Have a Monster Hunter 6, yeah, like
yeah.
maybe a Resi.
it's
remake.
20th anniversary as well of Monster Hunter, so
Resi 4 remake as well. That'll shift some
Yeah.
units.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could do it, I guess.
Must be pretty wild as like a longest Monster Hunter fan out of the three of us. See it going from speaking about like try and stuff like that to this is now
crazy enough.
Capcom's biggest franchise and they're banking on it to sell.
Well, even me and
Units.
you, Jay, when we got into it, it was an obscure one.
I mean, I'd heard of it, right? But that
It was getting the sales were a little better, but not much better. Probably like an
But
extra million or two.
it changed a lot with World.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was still like, this is a thing that's big in Japan when me and you got into it, right?
Yes, definitely.
That was how
And I
folks
think
talked
we-
about Monster Hunter.
We had likes of Jas and Andy were massive on it, so
Yeah.
we're more aware of it maybe than most would be.
Fans, write in if you remember, Andy. Send us your speculation.
Never
when
gonna
he
see
might
Andy
be
again.
these days.
Opening the Game Boy Advance app, looking to see if Fire Emblem's been added onto it, probably.
Every minute of every day.
Yep.
Playing through Fire Emblem Three Houses campaigns just because he needs to get his Fire Emblem fix.
Yep.
I was watching like a bit of a direct reaction like video earlier, and like there was a good joke from people that when during the GBA games they showed Golden Sun and F-Zero. Like there's your brand new there's your
new Golden
Sun and F-Zero like mentioned in a direct for a change. These franchises exist.
I think they mentioned F-Zero X when they showed the N64 games.
Yeah.
I wondered as soon as I saw the Game Boy Advance thing, it was just my stupid dumb brain going, are they finally going to bring out Mother 3? Is that going to be like the killer app for Game Boy Advance?
It might be eventually. They still haven't done Mario RPG
But
on the
excellent.
SNES on Switch.
True. But doesn't that have some like rights bollocks to Square
Yeah, but
going on?
they did release it on the Wii Virtual Console. So they
What
have
the fuck?
They,
Oh, I forgot
What
about
is
this.
this? Oh, it's the big one. You need to attack
What
him.
the
Attack him.
Spirit. Oh, you got attack him. I was running away.
I was running away as well, yeah.
You need to attack him, and then the bomb like hits him.
It is Booyah Bomb.
Oh, I got hit by the bomb. Nope. Oh shit, that doesn't
There
look
it goes.
good.
No, it's going to hit him. I think it's going to hit him. Back
it?
up now. Yeah. Boom.
Nice.
Very nice.
I'm glad we got to see
I've
that.
seen that in an actual hunt. Like I've only ever saw that in a video before.
Have one
And
of
then off
them.
my fucking Sakura Slash. Whatever that move's called. What was the secret sheath?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I don't know. I didn't get hit
That's
there.
when you run. That's when you run away from.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Good old crispy 6-year-old meme there. Look.
Yeah, I know, but every time one of those ones pops up, I fucking love it. Well, the best one was when it was a video of Jesus, and he's like, Jason Bourne, that's Jesus Christ.
Come on, stay still.
This.
Hey.
Capture it there, right? We killed it, yeah.
We killed it, yeah.
Cool. Right, now I've got to hunt the Scarlet Mizutsune.
What? Oh. Good one.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, we're on
Oh,
Twitter
yeah.
at MonsterMod.
Fucking joke. That's terrible. That's the worst one you've ever done.
You can find it on Facebook, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Just search Monster Mash Podcasts. Make sure you rate and review. Tell your friends.
Shinies over there.
Look forward to the 2 or 3 episodes we've still got coming out.
Yes.
And follow us to what we do next. Just still haven't come up with a good name for. Bye.
Oh yeah.
Yo.
Bye. Do we always do an outro on the hunt?
Stop recording.
Sometimes I remember to do an outro on the hunt because I remember it goes up on its own.
Stop
Sometimes
recording.
I do not.
We export it. I'm assuming we're not hunting. Oh yeah, we're only doing one episode, right? So, yeah.